And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin', and this is episode number 25. And of course, I'm joined by my co host, Roger.
Hey guys, how you doing today?
So, man, what you been playing lately over the past week? I know we had a bunch of games come out and got a bunch of games looking forward to as well.
Yeah, so I got to try the new Age of Empires this week, mostly because Game Pass has made it free to play. So with Game Pass making the game free, I downloaded it the same day, played it, and honestly, I'm quite surprised at how decent it is. It doesn't feel like anything better than the last one, maybe. In terms of complexity of the game, I feel as though they've removed some complexity from Age of Empires with this new third one. Otherwise, I've been playing Valorant. The season ends today. New season starts tomorrow. And I've also been playing some WoW as well as New World. I just picked up New World about, I think, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And I've been playing a lot of that and really, really fun. Really enjoyable.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, it's definitely something new, and hopefully it keeps expanding and add more content to it for sure. Because
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing because it's one of those like one-time buy games. There's no subscription like World of Warcraft or anything like that, at least yet. So it's just like it makes you curious, like, all right, cool. Once you complete the game, like, is there gonna be something that carries you on? Because you mentioned like once you get to
Yeah.
the top of the mountain or whatever, like that's it.
Yeah. The top of the mountain's pretty desolate, is what they say in this game. So I'm hopeful that the content is there when I get there and they're going to add more. The map, you can clearly see that there are zones that they're building up that will exist in the future, just don't exist yet. You can see on the map that uh, there are places to the north and to the west of where you start that may, expand upon or they can build into. There's clearly going to be more to the game as long as they can keep the player base.
Right. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I think it's gonna be key to their success, honestly, especially if they want
Yeah.
to keep it going and be competitive in the gaming
Hmm.
world for sure. Because like that's the
No,
thing with
agreed.
games too, because like if you're a game that's supposed to be played like over time for months to come and stuff like that, like it's hard, and some games struggle with it to be that kind of game when there's no content, lack thereof, or like Destiny struggled there for a while. The Division struggled there, still struggles till today. So like there's plenty of games. Marvel Avengers that we always talk very poorly of. One of the reasons why that game reviewed so terribly was because of the lack of content. You beat the game, you're
Yeah.
like, all right, what do I do now? I go waste my time with copy paste missions.
Replay. Yeah, I'll
Repl-
just sit there and replay the game over and over again. And for some, that's not really what they want to do.
no, I'm looking for additional content that progresses and is actually enjoyable and not copy and paste something that it looks like you put in work into creating. Otherwise, it's just like, all right, cool, you half-assed your job. I don't care about it no more.
No, exactly. It kind of feels some of these games you get to the end and you're like, wow, it doesn't feel like there's anything more to do at this point. I've hit the end, so what is there to do?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So, what have you been playing, Vic?
Of course, we've been playing Valorant. We've been trying to get some ranked matches in and dealing with the struggles of our team up and down and swapping people in and out. So we're just trying to find a good balance and whatnot. So you understand that struggle there. But nonetheless, I've been playing Far Cry 6 still. I try to play it as much as I can, even when I'm at work on my breaks. As much as I'll knock out a couple missions or clear out certain areas or go get some more upgrade material stuff. Because there are some parts where it kind of feels grindy, like I have to go upgrade or like collect parts or whatever to do it, but it's not even a requirement. It's like my choice. Like I can rock out the same gun from the beginning and I'd be perfectly fine. It doesn't lose damage or anything like that. I can still one shot kill people if I need to in the head. Like it's very realistic and stuff like that. But it's pretty cool to see the different attachments and abilities and perks that you can unlock for guns as well. You just got to have the right materials for it as well. So it's just a ton of customization, which is enjoyable and it changes up the experience. Like you can approach each mission differently with different guns and what their abilities are. Like there's ones that have armor piercing rounds or soft rounds or incinerary rounds or poison rounds where they would control the person and they might attack their own teammates and stuff like that. So
So
it's fun.
it diverges quickly from reality, but
Sometimes, yeah. I
you
mean,
know,
but that's Far Cry for you.
yeah, exactly. No.
But yeah,
So
nonetheless, yeah, that's it. I haven't really been playing too much. I've been trying to just beat through this game, and then because my next game on the list is Guardians of the Galaxy, gotta start playing
mhm,
that. That came out 5 days ago, so there's a
yeah.
lot of games that we got to looking forward to, especially with Call of Duty coming out here on Friday, which we're about to talk about here with the upcoming games. So it's gaming season. It's here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, gaming season's upon us. So now it's time for our new and hopefully weekly segment, new releases. So we've got three major games really, or updates to games that are coming out this week. A fourth that I actually missed here as well. For Forza Horizon 5. This comes out on Friday. It looks good. Have you preloaded it yet, Vic? Because it's on Game Pass.
Right. I have not, but I probably will within the next couple of days. I'm not in any rush to pre-download games. That's just like if I do it, I get it. Whatever. It's just like being on Xbox. It's even on PC, you're limited in space, and that game's going to take up a large chunk. And I still play Horizon 4 even till today. Like I'll hop in there and just drive around and stuff like that. I know five's about to drop on Friday, so it's just like once it gets closer, I'll delete 4, download 5, and I'll be set. What about you? Have you pre-downloaded? Because I know you're excited to check out this
Yes,
Forza game.
I actually pre-downloaded this game. I would say 2 months ago, when it first hit the Xbox app for
Hmm.
pre-download. I had pre-downloaded. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. This looks like fun. I'm excited to finally play a Forza game. And I'm excited to actually play a racing game that hopefully will be more fun than the last few Need for Speeds that I've played.
Right. Yeah.
So,
And the
um,
good thing though with Forza though too is the like the multiplayer experience, like being able to play with friends and that new like Forge mode where they were like worried about what the community is going to be able to come up with because they have no idea what they're going to be able to come up with because there's so many endless things. So I'm really excited to check out the custom maps and the custom game modes that people are going to create in the community, and I'm excited to check
yeah,
that out for sure.
no, I agree. So, next game on the list here, to move off of Forza Horizon 5, we've got World of Warcraft is having their 9.1.5 update this week. Um, we're looking at Blizzard has kind of been stagnant recently. A lot of their development has been put to the side.
Hmm.
We were told by Blizzard that there isn't really going to be any new expansion, like any new like content update to the game for World of Warcraft until this whole legal dispute is settled. But it looks like they're still working on the game behind the scenes. Um, what's your thought about this, Vic? The fact that they're still in development, trying to keep pushing it forward. Do you see them hopefully not hopefully, but do you see them sticking through past this legal dispute and all this issue? Do you see them coming out the other side and still making more WoW?
I think they're going to have a change of course. Like I think they're going to change their mind on that, and like instead of waiting until after the lawsuit, because they make a lot of money from World of Warcraft, and if you stop producing quality updates and content, you're going to lose a lot of subscribers. And guess what? That's a lot of dollars that you start losing off the table. So it's just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they know that. So it's just like they want to talk mad stuff. They're like, "Oh, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do that," and we're like, "Okay, well, done with that game."
Later.
Like, and they were like, well, here's an update, guys. So I don't think so. I think they're gonna continue to release updates. I think that was just people at the top trying to talk shit.
Publicity.
Yeah,
Trying
that's
to
all that
yeah,
was.
pretty much trying to just garner attention, try to get the community to help backlash on the staff maybe.
Right. They wanted the oh no, we need you, Blizzard. But the community was just like, no, we don't care. We'll go play other games
Exactly.
like New World. That
Exactly.
that's new and fun.
Yeah. So, another game coming out this Friday. Animal Crossing New Horizon Happy Home Paradise DLC drops on Friday. Vic, you said you never played Animal Crossing, right?
Nope.
So, not really much to discuss here. I'm excited to see what comes out with it. It looks like it's going to be interesting. I know my wife's very excited for it, and a lot of her friends are as well. We'll see. Maybe this will breathe new life into the game. Because I know for a while there, the game has either gotten stagnant or lost a lot of people.
Mhm. Right, yeah, and this seems like it seems like it's another standalone game built into the game that like that's how big this update is. So I definitely agree. I think it'll breathe that extra life into it, give it that second wind, I guess you would say. But I know a lot of people still play this game. This game is still super popular. People love streaming it. People love just having fun with friends and stuff like that. So even at the holiday party I was at last night, got to talking with this one chick about games, and she said it's one of her favorite games that she still plays. So it's definitely a game that's not going anywhere, and this update's definitely going to add to it.
No, I agree. So, last update, last but not least, this
Hmm.
week we're going to be see the drop of Call of Duty Vanguard that comes out as well on Friday. Friday is a big day, like a
It's going to be a
huge
big
day for gaming.
day.
It is going to be one of the biggest days that we're going to see here before 2022 hits. Have you already pre-ordered
Yes.
Vanguard? I assumed you would have. I have not, but I'm excited to see where the game lies. I probably will end up getting it and playing it this weekend because it
I'm playing
honestly,
it day one.
I
Day one.
I
You know
I
me.
hope.
I'm playing
Yeah,
it at midnight. I mean, that's a
yeah.
no brainer. I'm playing it at midnight because I actually I had my days off for Thursday and Sunday from work, but I guess who also took off work Friday and Saturday this week,
Hey,
and
uh,
that's in due part to because we're going to that beer fest on Friday.
yeah,
Friday night, and I knew Saturday was going to be really tough for me. I'm not going to be able to turn around and wake up at 6:45. I'm gonna get
yeah,
fucked up. I'm gonna be obliterated at this beer fest and have fun, but it's just like it's like it's a big day for gaming. So at midnight, I got Call of Duty and Forza. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to sleep. I'm gonna have to like sleep hella late Thursday night so I can wake up at midnight to be start playing these games because there's going to
yeah,
be so much to get to. Call of Duty's got the multiplayer that's going to be fun. And Zombies, both of them come out day one, and then
yeah,
we got the new Warzone map coming out later. But we're about to talk in a little bit more into Call of Duty here. It'd be a perfect segue, but it's just like we have so much content to get to, and then Forza is going to be fun to explore. Like there's like I love Forza Horizon games. Like it's by far one of my favorite racing games ever because like the realism and like designing your car how you want it to look and actually fine tune it like you would do it in real life. Like yeah, all of that matters in a beautiful setting that damn near looks realistic.
yeah.
You got me on board.
No, I'm super excited for it. It looks really good. Call of Duty Vanguard looks like it's going to be a quality game, so I'm really excited to see what happens with all this. So those are our new releases for the week. Now, might as well stay in the same world here. Gaming news: Call of Duty Vanguard. So, Call of Duty Vanguard, they've announced that there will be 16 core maps that come out with the game. And they've also announced the arsenal, what all is included for the guns that we're going to see. Vic, any of this catch your eye? Anything you find interesting?
Oh yeah, I think with 16 maps coming at launch is huge, given the
Yeah,
fact that I think like Cold War and Modern Warfare both released with like 10, I think, or something like that. Very, it was like a much smaller number, and even then, like their 10 included maps that were meant for bigger scale warfare. We have 16 core maps, not
yeah,
necessarily meant for big team, but the whole new switching up the play style or the how the game feels, where you can be 24 on 24 on a terribly small map. It's going to be hectic. So, um, it's cool. It's awesome to see. And like they did announce like some of the maps and whatnot, and a couple of them were I think like two of them are remakes from like World at War, which is super exciting. They did announce Castle is returning. That is one of the iconic maps from World at War back in it's been a while since that game's been out. And the other one was Dome. Dome was another one. So I remember playing on those ones back in the day, and I'm pretty cool to see them bring maps that we haven't seen in a while. These aren't the same maps that keep getting remade over and over and over, like Nuketown and whatnot.
yeah.
So this, to me, it's
These are
really
brand new
exciting,
maps.
right? And they're breathing life into maps that people probably forgot about. Honestly, I mean, heck, World at War's been out. What? It's been out since like '06, I think,
Yeah,
like '08 maybe. No,
15 years.
might be 2008 or 2010. I think so. I forget where it was. It was around that time. So most kids nowadays that are younger and now finally getting into the realm of gaming like Call of Duty like that probably never even played World of War.
Yeah,
So I'm excited for this. But yeah, to see the Arsenal looks good. I like when you have a wide variety of guns to choose from because like I hate when guns are just like, all right, well we got two here, but I'm also worried about it because it's World War II. You're limited in the arsenal. How many more guns can you really add to it over the seasons? And it's just like, are they going to be competitively like, are they going to be competitive guns? Or are they just throwing in there just to throw in new guns? You know, that's what I'm
yeah.
worried about. So I'm excited for it. But what's your thoughts on all of this, like the maps and the arsenal?
So I'm excited to see 16 maps. That to me is awesome because it feels like they're you're not going to continue to play the same maps over and over again. That's the issue I have with Valorant. I boot up Valorant and I play the same 10 maps over and over and over and over again, and I finally get really tired of playing the same maps over and over and over again.
Yes.
So with something like 16 maps, yeah, the games are a lot quicker, but now I've got a larger selection to play with. I've got
Hmm.
tons more maps.
Right. And one big thing they did announce the other day is Dead Silence. They're one of the biggest changes from the beta to the game release is Dead Silence was a field upgrade, kind of like in the last two entries with Cold War and Modern Warfare. Now it's a perk. It's back to being a perk. I don't know how I feel about that because I felt like putting Dead Silence as a field upgrade was a nice touch. It changed it up. It didn't allow you to have Dead Silence 24/7. Like
Yeah.
Dead Silence is going to be one of those perks like you have to run with. There,
Yeah.
it's and that means whatever other perks are in that category are probably never going to get used unless they're
Mhm.
that great. Like it has to have a nice trade off for this to work.
Yeah,
But
because if
that's
you're
what I'm
just
worried
pinging
about.
on the map all the time, then what's the point? Everyone knows where you are, because UAVs are up all the time.
No, no,
Let's be honest.
Dead
Oh,
Silence is
sorry.
for the
Yeah.
footsteps,
Yeah, sorry, footstep.
and
So,
that's another one too. Like I'm gonna have to run Ghost and Dead Silence
yeah.
every single like no matter what class it is. Those are guaranteed two perks that I have to run, unless they're both
So,
in the same category. Then that's going to be a tough choice there.
there
Do
you
I not
go.
want to be heard or do I not want to be seen? And that's going
Yep,
to be huge. That's going to be a game changer if that's the case, because
I
that's going to
agree.
be tough.
That's one of those things where we actually get we get like something that helps to shake up the game.
Hmm.
It's really going to shake up the game if they, because I remember you'd always have two perks that you always took. Didn't matter what kit you were building, and then the third one was just like whatever you want today. But there's
Right.
clearly a better option still.
Right. Yeah.
It
So
it
I'm
always
curious to see how that all plays out and where the perks line up because from the beta to the release on Friday, the perks may not even be in the same category as what they were in the beta. So I have no idea. I have no speculation on how this is going to play out at all. But we'll find out Friday midnight.
yeah, definitely.
But
So
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, just keeping along lines here with Vanguard, they did announce like the game modes. You've got your typical TDM, domination, kill confirm, free for all, search and destroy, hardpoint, and their new mode called patrol, which is it's an interesting mode. It's like hardpoint, but except like instead of the hardpoint like switching locations throughout the map, it's literally a moving point that you can stay on through the entire match without getting off of it if you somehow don't die. So it's a definitely crazy. It's a very chaotic game mode, I think, especially if someone's who really playing for the objective. But there's going to be tons of people who are just outside, just watching. Anytime anybody runs towards the patrol point, I'm just going to kill them. Like you're gonna run into people who play like that. So that's only my biggest concern
You're
with
just
that.
going to deal with kill fraggers all the time.
Yes, I mean, but Call of Duty has been known for that.
Yeah, exactly. So, um, and then the last thing to talk about here is the roadmap for Call of Duty. Can you talk a little bit more about their roadmap here coming into day one Friday?
Yeah, so the game comes out November 5th, Friday, um, and it's their preseason before like the first season actually begins with like the official first battle pass. So you're basically continuing the battle pass that you already are on right now from Cold War, but it just adds on to it, adds more tiers or something like that. It's nothing too crazy. You'll be able to start playing multiplayer and zombies day one, and then we're moving into like the event for Vanguard or for Warzone with Verdansk because starting on November 18th, well, I should start with the 17th. 17th, you get a remastered of Shipment. Shipment is returning into this game. It's a very small map, very chaotic. Everybody knows that map. It's a classic. I don't know if I hate that map. Honestly, I never enjoy playing on Shipment. It's not meant for 6v6. It's meant for 1v1, and that's why
Yeah.
in Modern Warfare 2019, when they released Shipment into that and they added it to the 2v2 gunfight, it was perfect. It was fun. So seeing it back, yay! I guess like you're gonna get like 60 kills a game, but you're also gonna have like 60 deaths a game. So like I never find those kind of games enjoyable. Like if I'm not going like 30-6, it's not to me. It's not really enjoyable. So that's coming out on the 17th. Then on the 18th starts like the event though. Operation Flashback begins in Warzone. This is like a limited time mode where I guess you're celebrating the past 18 months of Verdansk. So maybe we'll see the map transition some to how it was before, and then watch it slowly dissipate over time, and then on the 24th, you uncover the secrets of the Pacific. So you're going to start getting intel and whatnot, and new learning the new points of interest for the new map called Caldera, which is set in the Pacific. It's a new island that's going to be created, and and then you got November 30th through the 1st of December, the last hours of Verdansk. This is basically when you watch Verdansk get blown up. Finally, like it's been that was supposed to be the
Yeah,
event a long time ago when it was supposed to blow up and disappear. But guess what? It's official now where this will be the last time that you get to play on Verdansk. That's going to be 18 months worth of Call of Duty Warzone that you blood, sweat, and tears playing on, and that map goes bye bye for good.
yeah,
You'll never
it's
be able
gone.
to play on it again unless they do like a hey, we're bringing it back for the weekend or whatever. Like they can do that kind of stuff. Oh, but then the new map comes out, Caldera, and season one starts as well. So see, and then like December 2nd, season one begins. You get the new map and then a new battle pass. So there's a lot of content leading up to it, and then it's just like it's really awesome though that they're already getting on top of this, and they're like, we got content, we got this laid out. Look, you got a lot of stuff to look forward to. You get to see the transition from the old map to the new map. I'm excited. I'm excited. This is a big beginning for Call of Duty. I'm excited because usually it takes a couple months for new content to be implemented. So,
Yeah,
well, what's your
and
thoughts
not
with
only
this?
this. This is all free too. A lot of this is all free stuff too. We're dealing with Warzone, just a complete rework of it. Following it's, I think something we're going to talk about a lot tonight is just tie-ins with a game. A game is now becoming more than a game. What is a game but now a giant collection of lore, of events, of just an extended universe. I think it's really interesting now. We're going to see Call of Duty. They're going to add in a mode inside of Warzone where it's all World War II guns. That's all
Hmm.
it is. It's just literally straight World War II guns in Warzone, which I think is interesting because playing on Warzone, people were like, "Why use the Cold War guns? You've got these guns," or it always
Right.
felt like, "Why have them both when only one set is good or when only certain guns are good?" It's now you have to play with the guns from a specific because the World War II guns aren't really going to compare to the modern day guns. Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Realistically, they shouldn't. Right.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really excited to see some of these things, and I'm excited to see where we go with Call of Duty Vanguard because I'm hoping that they redeem the series right now because Cold War the campaign was okay, but like zombies was the only thing redeemable about it in my opinion.
Right, and we already talked about how zombies looks really phenomenal in Vanguard, and the story looks pretty cool, and the map design looks really interesting. So like zombies looks great. Multiplayer looks like it's gonna be fun. Warzone is going to be fun regardless. It's just as long as they can control the hackers with Ricochet. Um, that's going to be the key parts of that, and I do hope it's a good campaign. It's a different take on the World War II. Like this is like the like you're following the path of like special ops agents, like the first ones, I guess you would say, because I guess before that we didn't really have many spec ops teams before that. So this is pretty cool to see that kind of story from the World War II. We've always seen the front lines, like people in the trenches and stuff like that. This is going to be like behind the scenes. How can I outmaneuver my enemy and whatnot? So
And
I'm
it's not a retelling of World War II. It's an alternate universe.
right.
So that's going to be the fun thing. It's a new take on what could have happened. So I'm excited about Vanguard. I definitely am going to play the story if I get the game, when I get the game kind of thing. I just really want to see how well it gets reviewed in the first week or two.
Hmm.
But maybe I might just cave and buy it day one. Who knows?
Yeah, come on. By day
Because
one, let's play it at midnight.
well, I'm off Friday, so here we go. But I think we should move on here to the world of Xbox. Xbox announced some new features coming up here soon. Twitch integration. You excited?
Oh yeah, because like everybody knows, even watching it live right now, we stream to Twitch all the time. And when I'm gaming like Valorant and stuff like that, I love streaming to Twitch. And it's just like, yeah, Twitch is already on Xbox, but it's really clunky. It's really just hard to maneuver and access and bring up, and it's just too much. And then it's just like I don't even want to do it. I really don't. So it's just like now if they're improving the Twitch experience on the Xbox, that's gonna be great for me to start streaming single player games or story driven games that I want to play on my Xbox. And I would
Yeah.
love to stream for everybody else to watch and for me to post later on YouTube. But as of right now, because I don't have a capture card or my setup isn't working, like my Xbox is out in the living room, computer's in here, so I couldn't even use the stream card or yeah, a
Yeah.
stream card anyway. So eh, we'll see. But I mean, it's a big movement for sure. It's sad, man, to see that they're finally making this transition back to Twitch. But it's just like they had Mixer. Mixer was great. Honestly, it was just it needed improvements, but it was a great beginning, and it worked flawlessly. Like the integration to it and how it was just easy to control, and it was super easy. And then when they got rid of that, they never replaced it with anything. They have Twitch, but it was just like I said, clunky.
It was funky. Yeah.
So hopefully
So
this is the
it
improvement they need.
exactly. So one of the other things we're gonna see here is Microsoft seems to be kind of letting go of their grip on we need to do everything ourselves, it feels like. You know,
Mhm,
we're getting, the Twitch integration is getting better, and now we're also seeing PC games. You can stream you can do PC games from your computer to your Xbox via NVIDIA GeForce now.
mhm.
So what do you think about this? I've been able to do this with Steam now from PC to PC. Like I have a PC set up on my TV right in front of me in the basement here, but my computer's not hooked up to it. But I have a computer up hooked up to it now that I can stream games to it and then play them off that big ass TV.
Right. So
It finally,
it just
yeah,
adds to your experience and the whole thing with the whole Steam Deck that we've talked about. It allows you to be able to play different ways that you're not normally able to, especially for like PC only games. Like think about it. If this feature will allow you to play Valorant on my Xbox, that's going to be huge.
yeah.
If it works out and
Well,
it's not too
they already showed CS:GO. You
right.
can already play. They showed CS:GO. That's literally the Valorant competitor. What's happening here is we're getting a over your LAN streaming capabilities. You stream from your computer to your console with small, minute delays, which I think is awesome. We're
Mhm.
now going to see the Xbox be the entertainment system it always meant to be, years and years later.
Right. Which speaking about that with the whole entertainment, they wanted to be everything. That's why the Xbox One was named Xbox One.
Yeah,
And with their actually new feature that's coming out is you'll be able to play cloud streaming games like on your Xbox One. So any games that come out for the Series X and S exclusively, you'll now be able to also play it on the Xbox One via this service. So you won't be able to download and play the actual game itself. You'll be streaming it through the cloud because it's played on Series X consoles in the cloud. So it allows you to basically no gamer left behind
yeah.
movement. You know what I mean? So it's just like people who can't get a Series X because of money or can't get it because of availability can still join in because there's going to be a ton of games that come out over the next couple of years that are going to be Series X and S only.
Even no, not even not years, just months.
Right,
In the next few months, we're getting to the point where we're going to need to leave people behind, or the games aren't going to evolve.
right. Like Flight
And so it's
Simulator.
nice to see. Yeah, it's nice to see we're finally getting better cloud gaming as well. So continuing on here of other things Microsoft is offering, they're partnering with Discord now to have Discord Nitro offer 2 months of free Game Pass. If you're a Discord Nitro member, you've just been given 2 free months of Game Pass Ultimate. Unless you're already a member of Game Pass Ultimate or had it before, then fuck you. Like
Right.
myself, I didn't get 2 free months. I just get I have all these services. They offer YouTube Premium, they offer Game Pass Ultimate. I can't redeem anything. I've already got them.
Right. Yeah. So I
So
mean that is a downfall for that for people like who already have the services, but it's just another way of bringing on more people, giving more of an incentive that all right, well if you don't have it now, well here's another reason to at least
you get
try
it.
it, to get it, to
Yeah.
try it, and 2 free months. Man,
Yeah.
people are gonna get hooked. They're like, yo, there's so much to do on here. There's so many
Yeah.
games on here, so many great games on here, and there's so many great games to come out. So it's just like you're eventually gonna like get hooked. Like once you have Game Pass, you're hooked. Like it's a win-win, best value in gaming, hands down, and it's only gonna get better. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part.
And the thing is, they have currently 20 million Game Pass subscribers.
Mhm.
It's a huge service. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. That's
It's
the estimated
insanely large.
numbers. But that it's they said according to the earnings um uh review that came out or whatever. That's what they're
Yeah.
estimating it to be, which is exciting, honestly. Like I think it's crazy. But to one last thing in regards to the Discord thing, I think it's funny. Remember that Discord was supposed to be bought by Microsoft, and then that did not go through, and then they made a partnership with Sony. But then we see this deal with
Yeah,
Microsoft. So I'm just like, Discord is just all over the place. They're just, where's the money at? Where can I get more money from? Oh, okay, more people are going to get Nitro because they get 2 months of Xbox Game Pass now. So
yeah.
it's
I
it's
scratch your
crazy.
back, you scratch mine. Yeah. So, talking about it here, they have 20 million subscribers. To put that in perspective for our viewers, that's a tenth of Netflix subscribers in the world. You know, in only what, a year and a half, 2 years, the Game Pass has been out.
Right.
They're already a tenth of what
With
Netflix is.
barely any like first party exclusive games on there. Like it's been majority like third party games or
Just
old
stuff,
games.
yeah, or just games that are just coming out in general. Just like even new games like Back for Blood's there, but
Hmm.
it's not Microsoft's game. So I'm really excited to see this. But other news for Xbox, they finally hit 8 million Series X and S consoles, and to Sony's 13.4 million.
Hmm.
You know, what do you think of this, Vic?
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. Honestly, I mean I just feel like PlayStation is going to just outsell Xbox to begin with, just because there's
Yeah,
more. I feel like there's more PlayStation fanboys, but to put it into perspective, it could also still be coming down to, oh man, excuse me, production.
line demand.
The supply and demand. Like, what if Microsoft can't produce 13 million Xboxes? I don't think they can. Where Sony has been able to produce 13 million Xboxes, because you figure every system that's being made is being sold.
Yeah,
So you put that into perspective, their production is not the same. So if they had equal amount of consoles being made at the same time, I think numbers could be
maybe.
different. So I think this number, it's good to see both ways, because a gamer is a gamer. I don't care where you play as. You're a gamer. You're going to have fun on whatever system that you decide to go with. But let's look at these numbers 5 years from now, even
Yeah,
2 years from now. I'll take it and see where those numbers are at. Who has more consoles sold? Because then hopefully production is different and has been not as strained. So we'll see. We'll circle back to that for sure. But
no, exactly.
one last topic here in regards to Xbox. They did announce the November Games of Gold. They still have that program, which is pretty cool, even though the games aren't usually that great. But hey, they're free games. They get added to your catalog. They're yours to keep forever. And the games are Moving Out, Kingdom 2 Crowns, Rocket Knight, and Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. Do any of these stand out to you enough to even think about playing, or have you played any of them? Yeah, I feel like the only
No,
one that I'd be interested in is probably
honestly,
like the Lego one. Because the
yeah,
Lego, the Lego games are always fun, no matter how old, which one it is. They're always goofy.
yeah. At some point, I get a little bored of them, but like to be honest, it feels like a sad little handout they keep doing because honestly, at this point, Xbox Game Pass has it all. I
Pretty much.
I'd rather just play everything. I'd just rather have Xbox Game Pass than Xbox Gold because I play on my computer. I
Hmm.
get a better deal to just pay for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate than to get, Gold and get those four
Well, if you have
games.
Ultimate, then those 4 games are already included in
Well,
your
yeah, I
membership.
guess
So,
yes,
so it's just
yeah.
an
So
additional content
yeah,
that you're getting for free, basically. So,
exactly. So moving on here to another topic. New studio, Brass Lion Entertainment has it sounds like signed the rights and cooperation of the Wu-Tang Clan in conjunction for making an action RPG game. The Wu-Tang Clan is going to make an exclusive soundtrack for the entirety of this game. It's going to be an anime aesthetic game in a futuristic setting, and it's a third-person RPG. What you thinking about this, Vic? The Wu Tang Clan. It like this was the thumbnail, Wu Tang Clan RPG. But like as I read it, it's they're making a soundtrack for a video game.
right. Yeah. So I thought this was interesting. I feel like that this came out of left field, and I was just like, okay, let's see what they can come up with, and it seems
Yeah,
like this will be an Xbox exclusive. So it's just another thing that this will probably go right into Game Pass day one, of course.
probably
So
be on PC.
right, so it's just like they're adding to that RPG catalog, and it's just crazy to think like a few years back, PlayStation was the RPG console to play on, Xbox was the first person shooter console to play on, and now it's just like, all right, well, Xbox is going to have every RPG ever
Well, they're
on
they're trying
Xbox.
to they're trying to get into the market. That's the thing, in my opinion. And And one of the crazy things is this new studio, Brass Lion, is made up of devs from Skyrim and Mass Effect 3. So honestly, I'm worried about the gameplay. That's my problem. I'm worried about the gameplay and the story. Like if they let the Mass Effect team write the story and the gameplay team write from Skyrim write it, I don't know. I'm a little apprehensive, but
I mean,
I think
technically,
it's an
those
interesting.
games were both successful, so it's not like we got two very bad games coming in to make a good game. I don't know. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt and see where
Yeah,
this goes. It's something different. Wu-Tang Clan being part of this production with the whole soundtrack is
it's
going to be
interesting.
pretty cool. So I mean, it's awesome to see
Yeah,
because Wu-Tang Clan they like to dabble in like everything. They've been trying to expand and get into their other networks and stuff like that. So this is pretty cool to see. I mean, there's other big names that are in from like the entertainment business, like Dr. Dre. He produces a lot of music for like GTA. So it's just like it's cool to see when some of these like artists and production teams get into a different realm instead of just focusing on just releasing music in general. Like I'm releasing music specifically for a game.
yeah,
So it's just another way, like, oh, I really like this song. It just adds to their discoverability if they never listen to certain people as well. Even though like
yeah,
Wu Tang Clan's been out forever, everybody should know their music. So it's just like if this gives another
yeah.
audience to reach. So
No, I
it's pretty
agree.
cool to see.
And staying along the lines here of studios and potentially new studios slash, new endeavors, Horizon, the Horizon series, they are looking to expand their team at
Gorilla.
Guerrilla Games.
Hmm.
Guerrilla Games is looking to add a new position or two. The co-dev producer is what it's called. This job description is overseeing externally produced game projects. So what are you thinking here, Vic? They said it sounds like maybe they're gonna start producing new games in the Horizon Zero Dawn's, you know,
Hmm.
universe.
Yeah.
This comes back to kind of what I was saying earlier that games are more than just a game now. They're trying to make an experience,
Mhm. A
a collective
universe. MCU.
universe.
Yeah, they want to
Yeah,
do an MCU.
everyone wants an MCU now
Right.
because Disney bought it and is like, hey, we're making tons of money because we got people hook, line, and sucker to just keep. Oh, I've watched one thing. Now I want to watch this. Now this. Now this. Look, another thing came out.
Mhm, yeah.
I think, they're gonna ride the hype train. But do you really think? Are you thinking? Are we gonna get as good games? Maybe is this gonna maybe taint the water?
I don't think so. I think what this does because the Horizon um, game itself, like that universe is really rich and there's so much content that you dabble in. You can go the whole way back to when the apocalypse or like all of that began and where the downfall really happened. And then you can see it in the future, how they recover from it, or even sticking to where they're at now, where they're trying to survive and maneuver and whatnot. So like there's a lot of content to work with, but there's also like different ways to experience this franchise instead of it being like a linear kind of open world like RPG like game. You can make it a top down version, or you can make it like third. I forget if they're in third person or first person. I'm drawing a blank on that, but you can go into different genres in the game. Like you can
Yeah,
probably do a strategy version of it if you want to. I don't know. Like you could. There's a lot of routes that you can take with this, especially with other studios, and it's pretty cool to see like different studios take on it. Because like give for example, this is something a little bit different, but the whole Star Wars Visions, the anime that was released on Disney
yep,
Plus, that came from like 6 or 7, I think, different studios. And to see their different takes on how they can produce an anime for Star Wars, that was great. To see the different views on how they could take the Star Wars universe and do something different with it
yeah.
instead of it just
It
being
doesn't have
Disney
to be
making it.
live action, and
Right.
live action as well. Or just a cartoon. Go into something that is not a cultural norm for Americans or people of Western culture, really. Anime is not that big. It's big, but not that big. So it's interesting to see them, dabble in something else. So I agree. This is maybe we'll see some cool Horizon games in the next 3 years here with other studios kind of heading that off. But something we kind of jumped away from, but we should come back here is the PlayStation world. Talking about Horizon games, Guerrilla Games. PlayStation, we had the state of play this week. It was on October 27th, I believe. So,
Mhm.
what was your thoughts, Vic?
Hmm. It was
I know,
very
I already know.
lackluster.
But
It was
yeah,
very lackluster to me. It was to me a joke. I was like, and the thing is, they came out of nowhere. They're like, "Hey guys, we got a state of play tomorrow," and I'm like,
Well,
Oh,
Nintendo does
okay.
that with their tree houses all the time too, but
Right.
at least Nintendo tree houses are more engaging or more,
Yeah.
look better. The games honestly on this state of play didn't interest me that much. They're like, "Oh, look,
Not at
this,"
all.
and a bunch of them were free games that they're already offering as this month's game of the month.
Right, and some of them seem like copy and paste of, like, already established games. Like, the whole kart racing game, like, that looks like Kart Rider. That looks like it's a knockoff of Mario Kart, like, and Nickelodeon's regard like, kart racing game, like, there's already plenty of those out there. This one doesn't look to seem to be any more appealing than
Doesn't
those
look
other ones.
better.
It
Yeah,
doesn't look better. It doesn't give me a reason to wanna play it. Um,
yeah,
and then they announced, like, the new Five Nights at Freddy's game or experience or whatever that is, like, okay, cool. Like I'm not excited for that. I know it's a big name, but whoop-de-doo. And then like in a new DLC for Bug Snacks, like that game was already weird, stupid, and like not even that good to begin with. But now you're adding DLC to it. Okay. Um, Deathverse was probably the most intriguing game because it's like a multiplayer survival action game of some sorts. It looks really weird and way out in left field. It has like a s- steampunk like kind of look and feel to it. So I mean that might have been the most intriguing thing. Death's Door is actually coming to PlayStation finally. So I mean that would be the only biggest good news that I got out of that because it's probably going to be up there with a Game of the Year nomination, if not Game of the Year. So it's
yeah.
just like to see
But
that it's coming to another
it
console. That's good.
it feels late though to me.
Yeah.
Sony has been kind of pushing now this idea that they've rebranded all their games that are now going to PC because this is something we don't have on the list here. But Sony is now really looking at the PC market and going, "Shit, we missed out." Microsoft just
Now they're trying to play catch up.
spanked. Microsoft spanked us so hard. They're releasing God of War 2018 on PC now to try and catch up, really, and it's interesting because they have now the Sony the Sony PC line
Mhm.
that they're trying to do. So, at this point, I feel as though during the state of play, we really should have seen more about the future of what Sony's going to do on PC. Getting these games that are, some going to be the PS Plus freebies, it doesn't really feel great. It just
Right.
felt like it was a lackluster state of play, and felt behind, really.
Right, yeah, it's adding up to PlayStation's very lackluster year, given, yes, they sold 13.4 whatever number million consoles. We get that. But
People
there's
aren't
no
buying the
games.
console
There's
to play
no
their games.
right, like
Yeah,
there's nothing on that system that makes me go, "Oh, I need it." Like
yeah,
when I had the opportunity to buy the PS5 the other week, granted we didn't end up getting the chance to buy it anyway. I was going to buy it for myself and I was just like, "But there's
yeah.
nothing on the system for me to want to play."
Yeah, I'm with you. The only games that are on PS5 that I want to play aren't even out yet. So like, I feel as though I'm still waiting for the catalog to catch up to the
Mhm.
PS5. So it's not like I'm hungering to play it. I'm almost done with God of War 2018, but I'll find something else to play, like the Spider-Man game from 2017, 2018.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, like, granted, like, there are games to play on the PS5, I'm not gonna knock it, like
yeah,
Returnal, Ratchet& and Clank Rift Apart,
yeah.
Deathloop, which is also another game of the year, like but
Well,
that's a timed
Deathloop's on
exclusive.
PC.
Yeah,
Deathloop's already. It just came out on PC today.
and it's a timed exclusive, it's gonna be on Xbox next September, so I'm not worried about it. So it's just
Yeah,
like and Spider-Man, yeah, Spider-Man and Miles Morales, yeah, they're great games, but it's just like, it's not enough to entice me to buy a PS5 right away. They're
why not just
most of these
play
games are
stuff on?
playable on PS4
Yeah,
anyway, and I have one of those, and I still don't even want to play that. So it's
yeah.
just like, not ready for
No,
it
I
yet, but
agree.
I'll get it eventually.
Yeah, so just to kind of loop back around here, Sony did also announce their total consoles, and we said earlier they sold 13.4 million consoles this year, or so far for the PS5. And if you are on the PlayStation side of things, your free games of the month are Knockout City, First Class Trouble, Kingdoms of Amalur, Re-Reckoning, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, The Persistence, and Until You Fall. Three of which are VR games, interestingly
Mhm.
enough. So it seems like Sony's maybe trying to recompete in the VR space.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like the official like because I think it's been announced kinda with the whole PSVR 2 or whatever. Like that's
For
coming.
PS5,
Yeah,
essentially, yeah.
it's coming. Whether we want it, need it, or any of that right now,
Or
but
if even worth it,
V
it'll be
VR is still in that, like, that era of, like, that's going to be the future, but the technology isn't all the way there yet for it to be super successful. And like,
No,
not
no.
everyone has jumped on board either with it. That's the thing.
I think I would fight you on that. I think VR is here. The day is here. It's just people aren't developing for it yet because not everyone wants to take the dive into it yet.
Right.
That's the true issue. The people aren't buying VR yet, and I think that's our problem. You know, you're
Hmm.
trying to entice people to buy VR, but I ain't gonna buy VR to play Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. There's no point. I would rather buy VR and play it on my computer and play stuff like Half-Life Alyx or
Imagine playing
play
Valorant
Beat
in
Saber.
VR.
Yeah, imagine playing Valorant in VR. It'd be really fucking dumb,
It probably would
but
be really dumb.
honestly, I think VR is here, but PlayStation isn't really helping to push it. It's all
Right.
PC.
Right. And yeah,
So,
and it's the whole thing with Oculus and the whole thing with Facebook changing its company name to Meta because they want to do the whole metaverse where they have all of these like social medias and
you
they want to
join the
expand.
meeting here, change outfit. Yeah,
Right.
they
And
want
like
VR chat.
right, they want to like branch out into like the whole metaverse. Like you can put on the virtual Oculus 2 headset and you go into these worlds that basically are like Ready Player One. Like that's really what I get out of
VR
this.
chat. It's literally VR chat. It's Facebook VR chat. They're just rebranding what has existed for years. They are, yeah, it's what it is. The market's already been there, and Facebook's just like, let's steal it.
Right. Let's just
Let's
move on. Let's push it to the
take
next
somebody
level.
else's idea, you know?
Right. So
And
hopefully they're able to push it way better than what PlayStation has because PlayStation again has
yeah,
been very lackluster in that department.
agreed. And I think PlayStation really trying to push their VR more is just their way of trying to fight a different company instead of getting ahead of Microsoft. Because Microsoft at this point is like, we tried the whole augmented reality slash like, you know, get up and move gaming. It didn't work. The Kinect doesn't exist. We
Right.
never had it.
Well,
Here's the console.
they're like I feel like Microsoft is trying to get into a market, but in like a different way because of the whole HoloLens. That's still a thing that's going to come out eventually. It's still in like the prototype and whatnot, and it's trying to blend
Yeah,
the augmented reality with virtual reality. Like I think the lens will you'll be able to like it'll be like glasses kind of so you can see the real world, but then it'll also turn into a screen. So then you're in virtual reality. I don't know. That's going to be the big thing
it's
that
gonna be
takes.
like cyberpunk style futuristic things, cyber futuristic, where you've got an overlay. You put on the glasses, and you see advertisements hanging up above you, shit like that.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's just where real life gets a rebranding or just a nice little cover over top of it.
Right, so
But
that it'll be pretty cool to see that. So yeah, but yeah, PlayStation games, a lot of the like Knockout City, it's already like on Game Pass with Xbox, so it's just like all right, cool,
yeah,
because like that was
so
part of the EA Play thing, and then like the other games and like you said, weren't really exciting, and even the
yeah,
VR games are just like, like we talked about persistence because they just bought out their developer, so it's just like, well, why not add it to their free games now that we own it officially? So it's just like I see why they did it, but
yeah.
nonetheless, PlayStation has a lot of like they got to work on their media, their PR, like their content. It's very lackluster. It hasn't been good. They're just trying to ride the wave from the PlayStation 4 success. Like they're just
And
riding that
three.
wave until it'll crash.
Well, yeah, PlayStation 4 and 3, let's be honest, the 3 and 4, the 2, they all did very well. It's just the wave is dying. They
Hmm.
started really high, like they were one of the best consoles, and don't get me wrong, they're still an amazing console. They just
Hmm. You're not giving me a
people are
reason to be on your
there's no
console,
there's no innovation. The
right? Other than
innovation
the
isn't
controllers, I
big enough.
guess.
I guess, yeah, maybe. But moving on here to other news, talking about, let's head over to the world of Riot. Valorant, they announced,
Sure.
as we said earlier, the season ends today. Tomorrow we get or it's Act 2, I think. We're still in Act 2, but we're getting a new champion soon. In 2 weeks, I believe, we're getting
Hmm.
a new champion called Chamber. Chamber is a sentinel. He's got 4 abilities like everyone else, but his abilities as a sentinel don't seem like a sentinel to me. He's got a teleport, but his teleport isn't like Yaru's where he throws it and then teleports to it. He opens up 2 gates and goes between them at any given time. He can, as long as
Hmm.
he's at one gate, he can go to the other. So, you know, you put a gate at spawn and then you put a gate at B and you back and forth real quick.
Right. It's kind
Now
of
you
like
can play both
Wraith's
sides fast.
portal from Apex Legends. So that's what I
Exactly.
see out of this, except that only him can use this, where in Wraith anybody could use it. Which is where I
Yeah.
thought it was kind of weird. Like if you're supposed to be a sentinel, you're like more of a supportive player. Why didn't make this like
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think the whole
And
teleport's
wait,
gonna be
wait,
different.
even better thing. You said he's a support player, right? Then why are two of his abilities to summon guns? So Chamber literally summons both of the 50 cal guns out of the game. You get you get pretty much a
Sheriff.
Desert Eagle equivalent, the Sheriff equivalent in this game. As one of your main abilities you just buy, you just get a cheap gun to buy. So instead of buying a Sheriff, you just buy the gun for cheaper as an ability. So
Mhm.
now you've got the Sheriff, another pistol or shotgun, and then your regular gun. So now you've got three guns. Not to mention, if your ultimate is ready, you've got an operator. So now you've got an operator that doesn't need that isn't like cocked. So you take a shot, you can take another shot. It's a one-shot kill gun, and if you kill somebody with it, they leave behind a slow. And then just the last thing is he's got a slow trap. You know, you throw this trap on the ground, people walk close, it notifies you people are there, opens up, and then drops a slow field.
Right.
I guess that's the only sentinel ability we're gonna kind of get here, whereas the other two are like, it feels almost like he's a controller, not a sentinel.
Right. Yeah, I think they put him in the wrong category because he's like Yaru, Raze, Killjoy, like all put together. You know what I mean? Like the whole teleporting, pulling out weapons to destroy people, and then having like slowing grenades, alarm bots.
Well, yeah, instead of slowing grenade alarm bots, it's like Cypher. You know, you get information, boom, you teleport to the other site real quick. Say we're on Haven, you know, you got ABC, you're on A, teleport over to C. How?
That's going to be like it's going to definitely
Uh,
mess with the meta, and I love it because it's going to change up how people play and who you should play with. Because
you
like,
know,
I
yeah.
think KO is going to be super useful now because like
Hmm.
to cancel hit Chambers' abilities, KO is going to have to do a lot and be very useful and be very accurate with his knife
Well, you
and
throw
his
the knife,
ultimate.
and then the gun disappears for a little
Right,
bit, for 5 seconds or
and
8 seconds.
that could be all the difference that you need.
Yeah,
So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see the whole meta because there's gonna be people who play aggressive with this character, but there's gonna be
yeah,
someone who's gonna be really chill, very defensive with this character, and be able to get to both points very quickly. Oh,
yeah.
instead of me rotating really slow, boom, I'm here.
And not only that, it's we always say I hate the op. Oh, the op's watching mid. Let's go a different site. Oh, we can't walk down C long. There's an op there. Well, now doesn't matter if I approach A or C or B or Q or whatever I want to do. He's there with the op because he has a teleport.
Right. So it's definitely gonna be
So
crazy. It's gonna make you
yeah,
approach every site differently, and you
I
gotta pay
definitely
attention to
agree.
see if he has his ult. Like you can see when
Yeah,
they have their ult, so that's gonna make you approach different sites depending on the information you have.
and econ rounds all of a sudden get a new meaning now for him. He's just like, I'm gonna go econ. Everyone's like, why? We can buy. He goes, no, I got an operator already.
Right, yeah, so
Yeah,
it's definitely gonna be something different. Hopefully, this one doesn't fail. I'm excited to try him out. I really wanna get him and play as him and give him a try. Maybe this could be one of the new characters I am able to play as because, like, this is I love playing as Race, and I love playing as Killjoy. Maybe this is where this is like a hybrid of both.
eh, maybe. So staying here in the realm of Riot, Riot is really trying to build a metaverse, build their MCU. Riot has now made a MOBA. They have made a card game. They have a MMO in development. They've got now a first-person shooter game that's not a part of their MCU, and they've also now got a TV show coming. Arcane is a new TV show by Riot that discusses the story between two of their characters in League of Legends, Vi and her sister, Jinx. So what's your thought about this, Vic? You know, what's with everyone going, all right, we got to make a TV show, a game, a card game. We got to have a plushie line. We got to have action figure.
It's
When is it enough?
I don't think it is enough. I think it's awesome for games because like growing up, it's just like there was just like a game. There's tons of games we played and enjoyed where it was just a game, and you'd be like, "Damn, I wish there was more. I just want more." And some people live in a specific like game. Like people will live and breathe Pokemon. Like they'll live and breathe different games, and like that's them. And this gives
Don't
them multiple ways to have fun and enjoy the
honestly,
experience.
Honestly, I agree. And I think this is one of those moments where I step back and say, I think this is another way for Western culture to continue to adopt Eastern culture, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Eastern culture always feels ahead of the time with the way culturally we want things to be. I remember as a kid, you'd watch the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. You'd have the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You'd play the Yu-Gi-Oh video games. There were
Hmm.
board games. You'd have everything Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. You watch the TV show, the movie. You play the Pokemon games. Now they've got other Pokemon games that have different formats. There's Pokemon Stadium. Oh, Pokemon,
Snap.
the yeah, exactly. So, or Hey You Pikachu,
Yes.
like who remembers Hey You Pikachu? I loved that game, but like there's so many. I feel like even like Dot Hack, for example, was a series that was an anime, it was a manga, and it was also a video game where they had iterations of the game where you got to play through the character's experience in an arc of the manga or anime, or you listened to read the manga, you watched the anime, and then you played the next part of the sequel was a video game.
Hmm.
I feel as though we're getting to the point now where to keep people hooked in your stuff and keep them coming back, you want a game as a service anymore, or
Right.
or a universe as a service. That's almost what it feels like.
Right. And what's even crazier to think about it is too is like as gamers, we play games all the time, right? But there's always those days where like I really don't feel like playing a game. What if I just want to chill and just relax, but stay in that universe? So now I'm
Yeah,
watching the show or the movie and get more involved into that story and more in depth with it. So it's just like it's pretty cool to do that. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Everybody knows that. So it's like I can watch the movies, I can watch the TV shows, I can read the books, I can read the comics, I can play the games. I can be in that universe however I want to be in that universe. So and in different ways too, whether it's like Squadrons or Jedi Fallen Order or going back to the Pod Racer game from the Nintendo 64. Like there's endless amounts of different content and
yeah,
ways to experience a universe. And sometimes you just need that day off where you can just be like, all right, I'm just relaxing, just watching it and enjoying it. Instead of me trying
yeah,
to go blood, sweat, and tears trying to play a game because it's challenging and stuff like that. Because games take you on to that next thing. Like you actually have to be involved when playing games. So yeah, I
no,
mean,
I,
I mean,
I
this is
agree.
exciting.
No, I definitely agree. So, another thing here in the world of companies that like to make things about other things and try to get the extended universe, Blizzard. We got Blizzard. They've got, tons of games that reference other games built around the existence of other games. Well, we get our news from BlizzCon every year, and this year's it's canceled. You surprised?
Yes and no. I, I
Yes? And no? No?
yes, yes and no. I feel like one, they could have used this platform to say, "Hey, we fucked up. We are very sorry, and we're about to make changes. This is how we're going to make changes." And then, hey, these are all of our new games, new updates, new content coming out. Boom! Now you have everything. But in the same sense, I'm
They
also
could have.
like, no, I'm not surprised because they need to take that time away from being in the media. They need to take their time to regroup, rethink what they're going through, and realize what they did, and take that money that would have been used towards this event to put it towards something else. Put it towards the people who
Fix
are getting
issues.
fucked up. Repair what is that needs to be repaired with that money that is there, or put it towards other
Yeah.
developers that need help.
And not only that, BlizzCon is notorious for always having panels where people can ask questions and other
Hmm.
stuff. Like this isn't the first time Blizzard's been called out on its sexism by its fans. You
Hmm.
know, I honestly am not surprised at all they canceled BlizzCon 2021 because they are notorious for releasing shit at BlizzCon or having people just utterly make fun of them because they deserve it. They
Right.
deserve to be criticized by the fans who are still buying their games. Like I know people who day one bought Diablo 2 remake, the remastered, and somehow people are still in queues to play the game. Like the people are like, how do I pay $40 for a remaster of Diablo 2 and I sit in a queue for 2 hours waiting to try and get into the game? You know, I think Blizzard is like, shit, we fucked up. And if we do this, the fans are only going to make it worse. Like,
Hmm.
do you remember the do you have phones meme? Do you remember the one time a woman came up and asked, why do all of my characters have to have bikinis that are, why is my plate armor a fucking bikini? And the developers, joke and laugh and make sexist comments. Like, it's crazy. Blizzard has
Mhm.
always been this way, and now it's finally come to the point where somebody had to sue their ass, people had to walk out, and people who weren't afraid of getting in trouble to finally stand up. And I think Blizzard's like, oh fuck, if we have a BlizzCon, we're gonna get thrashed even worse in the media. I think this is Blizzard putting their tails between their legs and bitching out. I think they're awfully childish, and I think they're scared, and I think this is a bad PR move because anyone who's anyone should be making fun of them for tucking their tails between their legs and running
Mhm.
away from the opportunity to say, "Hey, we fucked up. Here's what we're doing to make Blizzard better. Yes, we know we have problems. Let's hear back from the community." Things like that. Instead,
Mhm.
they're just like, "Look what we're doing. We've replaced women portraits of women in certain parts of WoW with bowls of fruit." Like,
They just be wasting their time doing shit like that. That's what
yeah,
I see.
removing the names of people from games. Like, yes, I get it. McCree, they wanted to remove the name from Overwatch. I get it. That's fine. Change the name. But like, they're going through every little bit of the game and they're removing all references to all people ever. And it's like,
Yeah,
well,
it's weird. Like,
where do you stop, you know?
don't waste your time and money on stuff like that. Just don't do it in the future. That's the way I look at it. Like
Yeah.
that, don't see why you're wasting your resources on something like that. It's not it.
Yeah, that's no, we instead of getting tuning or, you know, any semblance of fixes for games like WoW, for Diablo, for any other Overwatch, for anything to help in the future, we're getting issues where they're like, yeah, we'd rather spend the man hour just changing out pictures to bowls of fruit. It's just, I think it's sad, and I think it just shows the state Blizzard's in. They're like, we're gonna do the bare minimum to try and cover this PR issue. We don't care about doing right by our fans. We just need to fix this PR issue. That's it. That's all it is. However we can cover it up or pretend we're doing something. I think that's
Mhm.
what's going on here. And the fans were going to call them out on it, and they knew it. They saw the writing on the wall.
Right.
But let's get back to a little bit better news here. We've got three last topics here. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, new DLC. You want to talk about this?
Not much to talk about other than the why. That's the biggest question I have for it. Like it's a Operation Motherland. It's I guess new DLC for it to a game that has not been well received by the community at all. It's reviewed very terribly, and the past Ghost Recon games, the past two of them have been quite awful, with Badlands and or whatever it was, Wildlands and Breakpoint, whatever. They've both been pretty garbage. Um, so I don't know
Yeah.
why they're wasting their time and money on DLC to a game that no one plays anyway. You're not going to win your nobody to come back to play this based off of this content. It's very lackluster to me, and they should have just focused on making a new one, trying to make something better, and make Ghost Recon a game franchise that everybody wants to play. Like when Advanced Warfighter came out on the
Well, Ghost
360,
Recon was good. Make
yeah,
Ghost Recon good again. That's
make Tom
that's what
Clancy
I.
games good again. That's
Okay,
what
yeah,
needs to
agreed.
happen. All Tom Clancy games, because the Division could have been great, could have been one of their best games ever, but just fucked up, dropped the ball in that. Yeah, they're
Pile
fixing
of
it. It's getting
flaming
better.
dog shit.
Rainbow Six Siege might be their only successful game, but it's not a story-driven game. It's a
Even
multiplayer
then,
game.
even then, it didn't start out good. It took a
No,
while. It took
yeah,
a lot of patches until we got to somewhere where it was playable. And
right.
by that point, you lost most of your community anyway.
Right. And
So,
then Ghost Recon, like I said, last two games, awful. Hasn't been good. And then like where the hell is Splinter Cell? Granted, we talked about it last week. There's one in development. Don't fuck up that franchise. Because that could be that could be your gem. Like that could be your
but wait,
significantly
we've got
different game.
splinter coins. We've got ghost coins right now. We need splinter coins for them. Buy yourself some new costumes. I want to see my character sneaking through this place in a fucking clown outfit. Of course. That's what's important, Victor. People need clown outfits for their stealth missions. Okay?
It's
I-
stupid.
It,
Stop.
it's what I'm getting at here. You know, we're
Yes.
getting we're getting to the point where it's all about cosmetics. Just add cosmetics. I remember when cosmetics were free,
The good old days.
the good old days. But we got two last topics here. Quiet Place, single player, story driven horror adventure game coming out. So we got a you can now
Another
get
multiverse.
into. Yeah,
Another one of those
exactly.
franchises that trying to get into the MCU. Because A Quiet
Yeah,
Place has two movies out, right? That's
yeah.
what it is. Like that, there's no other content behind it.
Now
I think it's
people are
based
like,
off of the
well,
book, but
yeah,
now I think it's a great movie though to try and put it into a game, especially if it's a single player story driven horror adventure game. Like you could have a lot of fun with this kind of game. Like like I don't even know if there's any other games I can even compare this to because there aren't that many single player horror driven games where it's not like the blood and gory creepy kind of horror. Like this is like they've taken over Earth. You can't when you're walking around Earth, you can't make any noise, otherwise they're going to come and kill you because they hear you and whatever. Like that's why it's called a quiet place. So I'm eager to see like all the jump scares and the stupid shit that's going to happen in this kind of game. Because if you make some noise by accident, oh man, yeah, okay. Alien Isolation, yes, that is a great comparison. I love that comparison, Spooky Crew, because Alien Isolation was a very crazy, scary. Like you got to be stealth as fuck, or you
You
getting fucked up.
you accidentally drop a wrench and you turn around and there's an alien just standing there going. You're like, I guess
It
I'm
goes through your
dead.
chest. Then he puts that little thing through his mouth through your chest, and then yep, that's
Well,
it.
yeah, and the weird thing is like you somehow see it shoot into your face and you're like, you're already dead.
Right.
Is in your skull. You just get skull fucked by this thing. But no, I think it's interesting that we're gonna see, this because like even for me, the horror. I'm not a horror fan, but like A Quiet Place, I've wanted to see. Like I saw the trailer for the second one, not knowing about the first one, and I was like, wow, that looks pretty good. And then
Mhm.
it finishes it's a horror, and I was like, well, it doesn't seem that bad actually. I really want to see
It's
this.
a
I think.
different type of horror. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
Hmm.
ghost and paranormal and not bloody and gory. Like it's not that kind of horror. It's like legit like survival, like an
Yeah.
apocalypse, more or less. You know what I mean?
Yes. So I'm interested to see what we get out of it. Maybe we'll get something good. Maybe it might just quietly fade into the darkness.
I love the pun there. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, just like, it turns out to be a good game. Maybe this will be like one of those like the opposites. You know how like they try to take games and make movies out of them. Well, now we're making a movie and we're gonna or making a
Make a
game
game.
based off of a movie. So it'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool to see how this goes. And yeah, it
No.
definitely it adds to the genre, makes it different. It adds
Yeah.
to it.
So last thing here, we've got a reboot of a franchise. We talked about it earlier. I've been playing it this week. Age of Empires 4 came out. It's on Game Pass day one. Vic, have you ever played Age of Empires? I didn't think so.
No.
So Age of Empires 4 came out. It's the traditional, got all your main staple factions like China, Russia, France, England, Spain. You've got a bunch of these, big power players, and each one has their own story, multiple things. It's got, they've got campaigns. In the campaigns, you get real videos with historical details, teaching you history while also reenacting that history a little bit.
Hmm.
I honestly, I'm impressed. For Age of Empires to be rebooted like this, the gameplay is a little backwards, I think, because it's grid based instead of the traditional free placement that
Mm,
we've
okay.
gotten from things like Age of Empires 3. And, the last time Age of Empires had a game, I think was before 2008. I think Age of Empires 3, the original game, came out mid 2000s. Yeah, 2005. Age of Empires 3 came out. So without the DLC, um, that's 16 years ago. For them to finally reboot this franchise, I think they did a good job. So, if any of you are interested in Age of Empires, it's free on Game Pass. Check it out. And if you want to play, let me know.
Yeah, it's just another big staple in the Game Pass, man. It's just another one of those like it adds value to the service, and it's incredible. And Xbox is definitely invested into this game. Like during their one show, like they really took like 15 minutes just to explain their little fucking catapult weapon that's in the game. And I'm just like, did we need that? No, but they're invested. Like they literally care about the littlest things in a game. That
Yeah,
shows to me like they care, but that they didn't need to do that in the
I
conference
mean,
setting.
so
Like
you're
that should have been a
telling me,
YouTube video.
it's the opposite of Ubisoft?
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so
Copy and
instead of
paste.
a formula, yeah, it feels like they left the formula and they said, "Hey, we want to recreate Age of Empires and we want to do it right and we want to do what we know Age of Empires to be." Because like Age of Empires 3, the campaign was really about was really just conspiracy theory, like, made up stories that may be true, chasing the Knights Templar. This one's like here's the real history again. Actually, what happened? Sorry, we kind of derailed the last game.
Right. So I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't know if I ever check it out. Like strategy games like that, just never even been my thing. Like I never even really played Halo Wars or Gears Tactics, and I love that franchise. I love that series, but it's just not my thing. I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe one day for sure. But it looks like that might be all of our gaming news for the week. But let's dive into our deep freeze moment. So today's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. But just wanted to go with Roger. What are your top three scariest games that you've played? We're gonna do a round robin, so let's go one at a time, back and forth. So what it doesn't no particular order on this either. Just
If we go
what's your
no
first one?
particular order, the one of the more recent ones to me would probably be the original Resident Evil remake. To me, it wasn't like one of the most scariest games, but it was scary. To me,
Yeah.
it pulled me in. I couldn't stop playing, but every step of the way, I was like, "What the fuck's gonna come out of this corner?
Yeah,
Am I
no
gonna hear
idea.
stomping?" The fact that, just the stomping is literally in the back, like trying to the police, just being in the police department in it is just when he first lifts up the helicopter, you're like, uh, uh, where do I go? What? Oh God! And then you hear him stomping the whole time you're in the police department, and you gotta run by him. Oh, to me, like even if you can fight back, you can't fight him.
Right.
It's like the idea that in a Resident Evil game, I've got a gun, I'll fuck you up, but he's got a fist, and he'll fuck you up worse,
Mhm.
and you can't do anything about him.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Resident Evil games have always been creepy, no matter what. Just it was just
Nothing like
weird.
Silent Hill, but like it's always been good. I
Right.
really always like them.
Like, cause it's like it's zombie, but like mutated zombies, but like really crazy and fucked up. And it's like the whole thing with
Yeah.
like we were talking about Alien Isolation. Like at any given moment, you make one bad choice or make too much noise or whatever, and that bad guy's right there and ready to fuck you up, and you can't fight him. That's it. You're dead. So it is definitely pretty crazy. But my first one on the list here would be Fear. That one to me will always be super creepy, just with the whole like the little girl vibe and like
Yeah.
the jump
Oh,
scares and just like the setting. It just was real dark, and it was just like fuck. Like if that game gets remastered or re-brought back to life, like that game might be the one to play again because like it looked pretty decent back in the day on the 360. All three of them did, and to see it like I would love to see this kind of game in a 4K setting with the horror genre coming back too. This would be pretty cool to see again. It's just like damn, I could not play that game all the time.
yeah. And that's kind of how I feel about an Amnesia Dark Descent. That's one of those games where they take your weapons from you. You got no weapons. You wake up, you don't know who the fuck you are, and all you get is this little lore as you go through. And as you're playing through it, you just hear, you don't know what you're gonna face. Each enemy is different, and like you may be like walking through an area and you hit a trigger and you just hear the enemy behind you and you gotta hide because if it even sees you, you lose. It chases you and mutilates you. Like the fact that you're walking through a hallway that's flooded and you're like, oh, I just walked through the hallway. You touch the water and you hear as something splashes through the water and you look, there's nothing there.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Ooh, no thanks.
So that must be your second one then there, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. My second one has to be Dead Space. I don't know why that game will forever be scary and creepy and just create like crazy. And I'm excited for the remake. We talked about it a couple months ago when they announced the remake, and I'm super excited for it. And it's just like, oh man, I'm gonna have to prepare myself for that game because that shit was creepy and just definitely spooky. Well, because I know you had some experience with Dead Space. Did you enjoy that franchise at all?
That was actually my third one I was gonna put in. I almost beat the original Dead Space, but I've lost my save file. So
Ooh.
I'm a little sad about that. But Dead Space was one of those games where like I had to put it down a bunch of times because I'm like, you're walking through a hall and the wall gets punched out and something starts dragging you into the fucking wall and you're like, kill me now. And
Right.
then you go outside into the vacuum of space. Yeah, you can hear things, which isn't really how it's supposed to be, but like it made you feel like you were in the vacuum of space and you're like walking on the side of the walls and shit's chasing you and shit's flying around and you're just like, I fuck this game, man.
Right, yeah. All three of them too were spooky and crazy and just creepy, and it's just like, ugh, mm-mm. And then the random ass jump scares too, like, that's really what gets me, and then the monsters were ugly and creepy looking too. It was just it's one of the all-time great, like, good, horror
Yeah,
games, honestly.
agreed. No, 100%. I think it was a staple in both first-person shooters and what you can do in a shooter game to really make them, you know, engaging.
Mhm.
And it also brought that whole idea of the resource management.
Right. Yeah.
That
Especially with the
that
bullets
was
and stuff,
crazy.
you're like, "Oh, man, I'm about to be out of
Do I
bullets."
shoot this guy or do I run?
Yeah, that made it even crazier too, like, your heart starts pounding because 'cause you're like, "I got, like, 6 bullets left, and I don't know."
I don't know what this hallway's gonna have. Do I really want to go down this hallway? What do I spend my credits on? Do I get an upgrade or do I just buy the bullets so that I don't die?
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree. Overall, really great game, looking forward to the remake.
Yeah, same.
What's your
I
last one?
think that's it. That
That's it
was
for you?
mine. I had
Okay.
Dead Space. Yeah, I honestly Dead Space to me. I can give you another one. SCP Secret Lab. That
Yes, that is creepy.
uh, uh not or sorry, Containment Breach. Secret Lab is the multiplayer version. Containment Breach has to be maybe one of mine, or Labyrinthine, which is an indie game right now. But honestly, I think Secret Lab to me was one of those games where I was genuinely
Fuck
not
that game.
Secret Lab. Yeah, it is. It
Fuck
is.
that
Yeah.
game.
What game?
Uh,
Fuck that game. Yeah. The game is bullshit. Yeah. So instead of Secret Lab, Labyrinthine. Yeah, let's go with that one. Labyrinthine was a indie game, and it's you have to play with a group of people. It is not a single player game, and you
mhm.
play with I think 4 players, 3 or 4 players, and during the course of the game is meant to fuck with you guys as a team. Like in one of the places, each enemy is different. Like one, don't get close to him. You can look at him across the place. He's sprinting, running around, and then he's crying and holding his head, and you get close to him, and he's like and chases you and rips you to shreds. Or
Yeah.
there's the one you get. Oh, I was in Labyrinthine. I'm like walking through a fucking hedge maze, and you have to go to 5 different areas to find these little keys to get to the next to get through. And as you're walking through, there's this bitch who, if she sees you, it's like she's called the witch or something. If she hears you or sees you, she screams and starts running at high speeds through the
Oh.
maze to kill you. Or there's another one as you're walking through with your friends. It tries to separate you. It's literally an amalgamation of like trees and stuff. And as you're walking, it drops a wall of tree between you and the person behind you. And you're both like,
Yeah. Nightmare Gore almost broke my shit throwing my headset at the monitor.
that
It
shit
was that
was so
bad, huh?
fucking scary. Oh, and
Whew.
one of the times, you get into this fucking basement and you're being chased by a giant fucking pig, a butcher pig that's like trying to mutilate you. And I like at one point we're
Karma's a
walking, I'm
bitch.
doing a puzzle, and I look back and this thing goes runs through the room and just kills somebody right in front of me, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
"Hi," and then it just turns and it's like you, and you're
You're
like,
next.
"No." Oh, I just fucking
Oh, like you said, he just
Labyrinthine was
stood there,
yeah,
hid in the corner, and watched them all die. Damn.
yeah.
But yeah, my
So
my
what's
last
your
one
third?
though, yeah, my last one here would be Evil Within. Um, this might have been what would have been one of the creepiest, most goriest games I've ever played. I've never played the second one yet though, but the first one I remember picking it up on midnight launch, and me and David, D Rob, we picked it up together, went over to his crib, and we had both of our girlfriends at the time, and we were all just in the dark room playing it on two different screens trying to get through it, and that shit had you spooked. You didn't know what was about to happen, and then like it was definitely heavy on the resource management, like because
Yeah.
you didn't want to shoot because it attracted attention, but like if you got overwhelmed, then you got to shoot. But then how much can I shoot because I don't got enough bullets? Then I got to use
Well,
melee
and then more
weapon, and
stuff
then like
comes, and it's like,
yeah, so it was definitely a lot, and it's a really good game, honestly, and I'm really excited for their next game too, because that's the Ghostwire Tokyo game being made by Tango GameWorks from Bethesda Software.
so excited for that game.
Yeah, so if that's anything to go by with Evil Within 1 and 2, their new game is going to be super exciting to check out. But yeah, that game would definitely have me spooked and scared, and was just like fuck. Even playing it with other people around, because usually when you have other people around, they're usually good. Not playing this one. It was definitely pretty crazy for sure.
No, I agree. Well, I think that's it for our, game topic of the week here and our deep freeze moment. Thank you all for coming out today to talk with us and enjoying. We really like hearing, the back and forth about fucking games like Labyrinthine.
Right, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, it's always great when we get the interaction from the community. It's great. Definitely come check us out more often on every Sunday at 7 p.m. for sure. But we want to thank everybody who did check us out live and anybody who does check us out on YouTube later on. Just be sure to like, subscribe, share, and follow, man, on everything, whether it's our Twitch channel or YouTube. Definitely appreciate all the love and support for sure. But Roger, where can we find you at?
My username's below. You can find me at twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion.
And of course, everyone, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin underscore. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin. Want a game party up just to talk with me? Definitely add me on there. Facebook is Vic Brubacher. Questions, concerns, you even want to come on the show. We are also looking for a third or the third person to be on the show, so another co-host permanently. So that would be every Sunday at 7 o'clock. Hit me up, man, if you want to come on the show for sure. And not worried about my Twitch again. So check us out here on this channel whenever we're live streaming. Hopefully, we'll play some more games here soon. But nonetheless, definitely want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.
See ya.